We ended in what we call personalizing relationships in marketing, and it is what we want to introduce today. So, when you're referring to the aspect of personalization of relationships in marketing, in other words, you're referring to how close you are with the people who are receiving your services, or the relationship, how close your relationship is, because personalization comes from the aspect of deep. Uh, uh, Comes from the aspect of deep relationship with an individual in terms of their values, but also in terms of what they stand for. So, when you're looking at personalization of relationships in marketing, you're looking at how the producer listens to signals and understands the rules. In other words, you have to reorganize marketing around building relationships, identify customer needs, and personalize interactions. Like we have discussed in this aspect of the principles of marketing of reproductive health, it is important that as a reproductive health expert or as a demographer, that you understand what the customer uh, wants from you, from the service that you offer a customer. For example, if you're offering maternal services, it is very important that you listen to what the customer wants, because we know that there are certain customers that when you're offering maternal care, who would want certain services. For example, they would wish that you offer the postnatal services where they receive their maternal services of delivery. So it is up to you as a marketing officer of reproductive health, that you're able to offer people what we call a one-stop center, where we were able to discuss that if you're doing antenatal care, then it is relevant that you as well do you as well provide them with HIV testing services, but as well you provide them with maternal services such as delivery. So the unfortunate bit is that sometimes there are health facilities where they offer only antenatal care, then they do not offer maternal services such as delivery or immunization. So the client or the customer would prefer where they will attend an antenatal care, they will attend a delivery session, and at the same time, their children will be immunized. So it is important that you identify what the customer demands or the needs of the customer, and you're able to fall in line with what the customer needs and personalize their interactions. So the beauty of interacting their needs is that as well as you interact with their needs, then you're able to create for them a conducive environment through which they can seek your service. Because here we are looking at marketing and personalization. Secondly, you need to differentiate and interact. So you need to rank customers based on value and needs, but also you need to interact more efficiently with the high value customers and tailor communication accordingly. So often, different customers come to your service desk, and in personalization of relationships in marketing. It is important that you as the producer or you as the service provider, you understand who your high value customers are. And when you're referring to high value customers, you're referring to people who routinely come and seek service from your service area. So it is important that you value them accordingly. Those who come and seek service from your service providers area, and those who seek service once in a while, it is important that you value them using an effective valuing scale, so that those individuals or those particular individuals that attend your services regularly, you're able you're able to offer services to them at a certain rate, or you're able to provide to them services at a unique structure because you very well understand that they will be offering service to you, or they will be listening to you accordingly. So as a reproductive health expert, it is important that you're able to value and understand the customers that come and seek services at your location. For example, if you're offering health services at a health facility, it is important that you know, or you're able to register or record the number of clients who seek service at your health facility, so that you know that whether you cluster them uh, into their villages, or whether you cluster them according to location, you should be able to know which particular location or people seek more health care from. So then you're able to grade them and differentiate, and then you tailor your communication accordingly. So if it is youth that are seeking more healthcare services from your health facility, you should be able to tailor your communication accordingly to youth. But also another way of personalizing relationships in marketing is that you need to create memorable experiences, such as you should be able to design customer experiences beyond transactions and create emotional connection, such as you should be able to offer them after sale services. If a customer is able to come for a particular reproductive health service, say for a family planning method, or for a particular contraception, or for a HIV testing method, or for a safe male circumcision, you should be able to offer them an after sale service as a memorable experience. Or else you should be able to offer them a certain service that shows them that getting a service from your particular point is absolutely exceptional. So sometimes we see it in different perceptions that people are able to offer their clients after sales services like transport. They're able to offer them t-shirts as a way of communication. And this way of experience is able to offer them a memorable experience at a service level. And then you're able to see that communities and your clients constantly come and seek service from you. Then another way is that you need to have a sensory approach. You need to engage multiple senses. Senses such as you need to have a better sight, you need to have a better smell, and also taste and touch in branding. Because absolutely this is what moves the individuals when they want to seek care from you. And that is why in our early discussions, we were looking at the aspects of sight, saying that when you're branding, you should be having something that is attractive, so that your clients or your targeted group should be able to look at your product and they're like, this is a wonderful product. But also when they are smelling it, or when they're having a touch of it, it should be a touch of quality, so that at the end, you're able to maintain your clients and they're able to partake of the particular product that you're offering. So, on this particular lecture of building strong brands in reproductive health, we have a few additional notes. And these additional notes are just supplementing on what we have discussed earlier. And you very well know, mainly we've been discussing issues of branding, and we've discussed the elements of branding, but also some of the ethical issues regarding branding. Therefore, the additional notes here, we want to use them so that in any aspect that you offer in reproductive health services, you should as well be able to engage your clients or your population into issues because you're professionally aligned to them, or because you professionally know that there are certain things that must be done for you to be able to offer service that is standardized. So we want to look at an aspect of reducing consumer attrition, uh, in that we were saying that reducing the customer or the consumer attrition is crucial, as the acquisition costs are much higher than the retention. So what happens is that when we're explaining consumer attrition, we want to understand it is more of when you're doing the aspects of cost benefit analysis. Therefore, you want to reduce the costs related to the consumer so that the consumer values your product more than the cost. Because if the consumer is assessing issues of cost, then it is only relevant that the costs are lower than the benefit. Uh, so that if the consumer transport is a little lower than accessing a product, then there are higher chances that the consumer will be able to access your product. Because if the costs are higher, then the consumer may doubt that expense is more than the benefit. So, secondly, you need to consider exploring additional theories like the attachment theory, the social penetration theory, and the relational dialectics theory to gain deeper insights into relationships. So earlier on, we have discussed issues of relationships, and we looked at the social attraction theory, where consumers value the cost benefit analysis, but it is also relevant that you go ahead and look at the attachment theory, because as well as the social penetration theory, because these are studies, or these are phenomenon that look at how the society assumes the benefit of a certain service. So it is important that you offer the society a benefit, so that when they weigh the benefit against the expense that they will make to be able to get that particular benefit, it is important that they value the benefit more than the costs that they will incur in seeking that particular service. So if you're able to look at those theories, actually, as an assignment, I would prefer that when we're having our engagement tomorrow, each of us has an explanation on the attachment theory, on the social penetration theory, and the relational dialectics theory. So, in other words, uh, John and those we have in the call, I'm giving an assignment that tomorrow, John and your team, John, Ali, and Joseph, I'm preferring that tomorrow we will be able to discuss before we start our lecture. We'll be able to have a discussion for us on these particular theories. Seemingly, the attachment theory, the social penetration theory, and the relational dialectics theory, so that I am not the only one who is explaining to you practical theories, but you also able to have a feeling of the theories. And what mainly I want from your understanding of those theories is that you're able to explain how they practically apply in our society today. So before we start tomorrow's lecture, I expect that we are able to share something regarding those particular theories. So thirdly, you need to remember the ethical considerations and avoid manipulative tactics in relationship marketing. I think the other day we seriously discussed issues regarding ethical considerations, where we looked at the issues of confidentiality, we looked at the issues of privacy, but also we looked at to the aspect that you should be able to listen to what the client says, and you should be able to understand the cultural sensitivity of what the clients are up to. So you may not be able to brand your product without considering the cultural aspect of the community. So when you're having a discussion or you're branding your product, you should be able to have products that are locally named. For example, you cannot have branding of a certain product where you do not have local languages or languages that are commonly spoken around your product. It may make it a little hard for the consumer to have it or to be able to consume it. So this is where we have ethical considerations, where you must be able to consider the cultural aspects of that community, but also what the community believes as their values and their practices as well. So earlier on, we as well looked at the aspects of potential expansion, and here today we want to look at the application to specific industries. And the questions we want to ask is that how can these principles be applied in healthcare, education, or in B2B settings? But also we want to understand the impact of technology, how do social media, messaging apps, and virtual reality influence interpersonal relationships and marketing strategies. But also we want to look at the cultural sensitivities and consider how cultural norms and values affect the relationship dynamics and personalization approaches. And we finally want to look at how evolving trends that explore emerging trends like customer co-creation, personalized artificial intelligence, uh, influence marketing. So that is why when you're looking at the additional notes regarding potential expansion, sorry, you should be able to look at how the impact of technology has affected branding, and you're able to look at how different people are using the advancement in technology to be able to do different branding. I have always referred to you about the aspect of Coca-Cola that you're able to see that the telecom industries, but also as well the refreshment industries, they are able to advance with the technology that is happening. You're able to see that Coca-Cola can introduce products such as zero sugar because they have realized that the society looks at diabetes as a threat, and therefore they are able to look at these other aspects as a way of influencing the society so that their brand remains at a top layer. And those are some of the issues we are referring to as a potential expansion. That is why we have to look at the aspect of the impact of technology. And we look at the social medias as Facebook or Meta, but also X, such as Twitter, as a way of the impact of technology. And yesterday, when we were looking at the aspect of interpersonal relationships, you might very well recall that we looked at the aspect that as a producer, you must be able to have a closer relationship with your consumer, because then the feedback they give up to you is how you should be able to improve the product that you're offering to them. So what are some of the models, or what are some of the various models of various secondary associations? One is that you need to have company associations. When we're discussing company associations, you're looking at the possibility that organizations or industries that are producing the same product are having a similar thought or are gathering together to form an association. For example, we have an association of the nurses. People who are practicing nursing are able to have the association. So as well, when you're having secondary organizations, it is important that you're able to have an association of people who are practicing reproductive health as an association, because then this gives you a huge strength in implementation of what you perceive, but as well what your thoughts are regarding reproductive health. But also you need to have corporate ability, meaning here you're discussing issues of expertise. that people who are associated to your to your corporation are having the ability, in other words, the qualification. So, for example, the students that are having or that are studying reproductive health and demography, they should be able to have a corporate expertise because they are qualified in offering services regarding or related to demography and reproductive health. So that is what it means when we are referring to corporate ability. Thirdly, we need to look at the aspect of product sophistication. And when you're looking at product sophistication, you're looking at what is the perceived quality and innovation of the products. What does what do your clients or people who perceive that you're offering a certain product think of your product? Do they think that your product is of quality and can solve their problem? So it is important that you value the feedback of your clients. But also, fourthly, you need to look at the aspect of corporate evaluation. And when you're looking at corporate evaluation, you have to look at the overall perception of the company's reputation and the trustworthiness. And the trustworthiness of a company looks at the quality. So if you're able to offer repeated quality without undermining the production, or you realize that there are certain companies that produce certain qualities at varied times, then sometimes it gives a doubt to the client. So it is important that even when you're offering reproductive health services, for example, if you're offering antenatal care or if you're offering a certain diet service, it is only important that as a service provider, you maintain a certain quality. So if your clients are coming for antenatal care services and you were offering them a private room, then after a few periods or a few months, you do away with the private or the privacy of offering that service, then it simply means that you would have done away with the quality. So it is important that when you're doing branding, that you maintain the quality over time. And the maintenance of quality over time simply means that you're building trust or the trustworthiness of your client. And because they understand that you're trustworthy, there are higher chances that as an organization or as a provider or a service provider, they know that you have a certain standard or you have a certain quality. Then, lastly, we have what we call the corporate social responsibility, and this refers to the company's ethical and sustainability practices. And the sustainability practices we're looking at is that you're able to offer to the community that you're targeting something that is positive and something that they benefit from. So when you're offering reproductive health services, it is well important. For example, if you're offering reproductive health services such as HIV testing, antenatal care services, or maternal health care services, or even when you're offering them, if you're offering them uh, what we call after sale services. Probably you've offered someone a maternal service, and then after that you offer them postnatal services. It is as well important that as a service provider, you go back to the community, that same community that you're offering these services, and offer what they call social corporate responsibility. And when you're referring to social corporate responsibility, you're actually offering them something of their like, not necessarily of your interest. So we have seen companies that go ahead to sponsor the cultural aspects of the society. And this is very important because the last time we were talking about the bondage with the society, this is what bridges the gap between a service provider and the society. And it is very important that we offer them. So, as part of our findings, it is important that both ability influence product evaluation indirectly through corporate evaluation, but also reputation based on ability may have a more substantial impact on social corporate responsibility. So when you're referring to CSR, in other words, I'm referring to social corporate responsibility. So sometimes you need to build your ability because having a reputation at an ability level is more important than having a social responsibility activity. So in other words, to build a reputation, it is important that, as we discussed, that you have what we call a quality, and you are able to maintain quality uh, in every product in every product that you provide. Thirdly, the consumer usability associations to infer missing product attributes. So meaning, in other words, if you're able to get feedback from your consumer, it gives you an idea of what the perception of the consumer is, and then you're able to add the missing attributes of your product. So sometimes it is important to seek the opinion of your consumer. Sometimes, if you're offering reproductive health services such as counseling on HIV, it is important that you have something such as a suggestion box, so that you're able to seek from your client what the client expects from you, and you're able to adjust accordingly from what the client thinks that is that they expect from you, but that is missing. And then lastly, you in your findings, you have to look at the impact on product perception based on the stereotypes associated with manufacturing country. So different countries as well have their stereotypes. When you're referring to stereotypes, we are looking at the perceptions or the different thinkings, values, and objectives of a particular population or a particular society on certain aspects, maybe on your products or on the service that you're offering. For example, if you're offering family planning methods to especially modern family planning methods, if you're offering them to societies that are more Catholic based, then you would expect that their perceptions and their stereotypes related to modern family planning, because the Catholic Church mostly does not promote certain modern family planning methods. To similarly to to the Islamic countries or to the Islamic societies. So it is important that you're able to understand the stereotypes that are associated to these particular societies as well. So up to that far, is where I would like to end for today's lecture, unless we have any other questions regarding that particular aspect. So then tomorrow we are able to look at the strategies through which we can be able to we can be able to combat the strategies that are related to the effects related to strong branding. So up to that far, do we have any questions regarding what I have presented? I have had a rap because yesterday, yesterday we had a discussion that and someone saying that I speak a little faster and